All right, Coach, win against Norfolk State today. Give us your opening thoughts.
Yeah, I thought our kids competed all the way through. It didn't start well, but our kids hung in there and made some plays early in the third quarter, and we punched some things in. Our kicking game's a little bit of a mess, but they just hung in there and kept battling. And obviously, that's a great way to end the game the way they ended it, never giving the ball back. But hats off to our defense that played a really good football game again, and hats off to our O-line and running backs and our whole team for the way they competed all the way through. So.
You talked to us during the week about how much this team needed to find a will, find a way, fight through the adversity, overcome all the injuries, and that this was really a gut check kind of game.
Yeah.
How proud are you of how they responded to that?
I'm really proud of these kids. I mean, this has not been a good stretch. You got some games that you're kind of outmanned, and we played well in one of them. I thought last week we gave in a little bit, and I talked to our team about that. I didn't think the 1A games. Usually the kids love playing those games, and they're inspired to play in those games. And I didn't think last week we had any of that. I thought we were flat. I didn't think our kids practiced well, and certainly that's the way we played. And I told them I was disappointed in them. I thought we had character. I thought we had the right people here, and this was going to be a game that we're going to find out about who we are. And certainly our kids competed today, and they hung in there. And they're great people. They're great people, and certainly today their character showed. And hopefully we got a week off, and now we get ready for when the season matters. We get to conference play. So I couldn't be happier for our players.
It's interesting because ordinarily you win a game, and how do you take the momentum into next week? It's not a problem. You could fly into next week, but now you're coming off a win. What you wanted. How do you carry the momentum for 2 weeks?
Listen, I have always talked to our players that our season starts when we start conference play. And there's a lot of great games out there. Today was a great game, the Kansas game, the Georgetown game. All those games are great, but they won't define the success of our team. It will be conference play. And certainly to go into an open week with a win like this, it's a lot easier to practice next week, I can tell you that, than if we had come up short. So they get a couple days off to relax and get away, and then we'll come back to work Tuesday and start worrying about Merrimack and all the other people. But it's a lot easier to get them going on Tuesday than it would be if we had come up short. So
you have some guys obviously banged up. Jack didn't
yeah,
make it today. Several others couldn't make it today. How much does this bye week give them a chance to get ready?
Well, I think in Jack's case, it's a big. I mean, he had whiplash, and he's still feeling the effects. And initially, he was an emergency if we needed him. And then I talked to him, at halftime, and he said, "Coach, I don't feel great." I said, "Okay, that's all I need to know. That we're not going to put you in. You would have told me that you're ready, ready to go if we were going to make a change." But he didn't feel good, and I'm not going to jeopardize any of our players and their well-being. So it was Jordan's game, and we'll get some people back hopefully. Heading into Mercyhurst and Central, and we're home for 3 more weeks. So that's a great thing. Listen, I think this win can do a lot for our kids in our program, no question.
Speaking of Jordan, aside from the obvious, the 2 touchdown passes, including the big hookup he had with Malik Red, what else did you see from him? He moved the ball well.
Well, I think he's a tough kid. I think he knows where the ball goes, and I think you got to protect him. And early on, we didn't protect him, and he got hit some balls that were wobbling and thrown away, but. He's a competitor, and I've seen him play junior college championship games, and he's a pretty good competitor, and certainly did a great job for us today in the second half of making some plays when they weren't there, and then made a big throw to Malik Red. And, it's good to see. It's really good to see.
The defense today, I know there's 13 points on the board, but really that's 2 short fields on turnovers. They really, They didn't pitch a shutout, but they gave you a quality start, shall we say.
I think our front seven up front is pretty good at this level, and I don't know what they rush for. I don't know what they rush for. 140, on 32 attempts. That isn't great, but that quarterback who started for him was a pretty good player and had some big numbers, and I thought we executed what we set out to do. We were going to make that quarterback move around and go laterally instead of north and south. And early on, we didn't make some third down stops. But overall, it's a great effort. Anytime you hold a team to 2 scores in this day and age and shut them out in the second half, it's a pretty good effort.
You talked about playing hard. That was your message this week, and it looked like they did really in the first half, just those 2 turnovers, but they played even harder in the second half.
I think I played for a guy here who talked about finding a way of winning, competing, and I'm from that tree. You got to play hard, you got to compete, and when games are right there, you got to find a way. And certainly our kids played hard today, and they found a way to win. They found a way to make plays when they had to. For us, it was a great win. It was a great football game, and it's good to come out on top. No question.
Last one from me.
Yeah.
You had 3 rushes where you had basically the whole team carrying you guys. I've never seen anything like that before.
It's good to have a big back now and then that you can he can start the pile moving, and then everybody else can move it. Certainly one of them went for about an extra 6 or 7 yards. But I think that goes back to finding a way to win and competing and playing hard. I mean, they were not I didn't think at the end they were going to be denied, and certainly that showed up today. So good.
Good.
Thank you.